Hey, thanks so much for listening to this third episode of the Amusia Story Podcast. We have a great one for you this week, a rightly little-known clip from our archives about a ne'er-do-well gnome named Xephius.
Young Xephius.
Wait, excuse me. That was the start of the gnome story, but we do try to keep these podcasts as close to 5 minutes as we can, but I do need, however, to break in and say a bit about our sponsors. ThinkFrame, offering a robust, next-generation, solutions-driven, integrated endpoint VPN cloud network R-based secure telemetric data analytics resource architecture for the enterprise. ThinkFrame. If you can think it, we can frame it. And sponsorship provided by Smoke and Mirren, advertising specialists. Relentless quality. Aggressive excellence. Smoke and Mirren, creating new realities since 1908. And by Interminon, the virtual world gaming experience that never ends. And by Echo & Chambers, offering public relations needs custom fit to any form of trouble your business may be in. Echo & Chambers now offers integrated financial reassessment of troubled corporate assets with our accounting partners at Cook & Bookers. And sponsorship provided by Slumbeck's Global Entertainment Properties. SGEP. We will entertain you. You will succumb. And by Copia Corp, putting the aggro into agribusiness. Copia Corp. If you ate it, we created it. And by Proprietaria Corporation. In today's complicated world, it takes a lot of drugs to keep your brain working. We at Proprietaria Corporation own the rights to just about all of them. Proprietaria Corporation. Fee your mind. And by MLI Company. We make those extremely tiny screwdrivers you need if you wear glasses. Yeah, that's what we do. We make those things. Or we order them from a factory in Malaysia, but that's not really important. I mean, we used to make them ourselves in Indianapolis, but what can you do? Now we pipeline them. But it's still our specialty, and for Christ's sake, we're barely hanging on by our fingernails. So if your glasses are getting a little wobbly in the screws, please think of us at the MLI Company. Seriously. Please? And by the big wizard science fiction shoot-'em-up space show, whose name you can't remember because you don't watch enough TV and you're not sure if this is one show or several, but you do keep seeing the relentless pelting of Facebook posts from people who think this program is the most important thing in the world. The Big Wizard Science Fiction Shoot-'em-Up Space Show, on some cable network you don't have. Don't miss out on discovering whether Dryad 6 can free the Mulogian slaves from the clutches of Shul al-Bulshar sometime this weekend. Hey, this is Mark again. If you are like me and have ever listened to a podcast, then you are sick to death of Stamps.com. You probably do all your mailing right there at the post office, waiting in long lines with irate customers, in the desperate hope that by not giving Stamps.com your business, they may someday go away. Side note, if you are this sort of person, please also consider switching away from Geico. Is there not such a thing as ad pollution? Why does no concerned scientist measure this? And how can Geico possibly offer lower rates when they plainly have an annual ad budget the size of the entire Central American non-drug GDP? Where was I? Stamps. Okay, if you're like me and have ever heard a podcast, you now hate stamps. That's why you need to turn to Postage.com. We pay for much shorter break-ins into the Mark Maron or Dan Savage podcasts with ramblings about our product in the middle of their shows. Postage.com. Postage.com. Remember, Postage.com. And today's show is brought to you by Friendship. The only thing better than having a friend is having a friend you can have sex with. Remember, be a friend. Have a friend. Make friends. Friendship. It's the best. This message brought to you by a Federal Public Service Announcement slush fund appropriated by the Smoke and Mirren Advertising Corporation. And sponsorship has been provided by EduNation, America's leading learning solutions provider. We buy your local public schools and replace all the textbooks there with leaflets denying evolution and with copies of The Fountainhead. EduNation, putting the edge back into education. And by Incarcerable Services Corporation, an offender containment solutions provider with facilities in 16 red states and a few of the blue ones too. Incarcerable, a subsidiary of Massatex, now opening offshore locations in South America and the Pacific Rim for cost-saving containment of domestic offenders. When you lock them up, don't throw away that key. Pay us to keep it for you. Incarcerable. And by Trinket & Edelson, formerly Baublesteins. Spend your vast disposable income on something sparkly. And by the Archaea Lux 95, a new standard in expensive car experiences, starting at $95,000. Or if you really need to cow your neighbors with your conspicuous affluence, step up to the Archaea Lux 130. Oh, we would delineate all the features and the performance standards of our automobiles for you, but all that really matters is proving you're powerful enough to spend the money. That's why we put that number right into the name of the car, the Archaea Lux 130. You've got something to prove. Prove it every time you leave the house. And, Mark, here we have a number of subsidiary sponsors here I need to find time to squeeze in. Foods Gold Organic Grocery, Carcass Count Overdrive, the new blockbuster starring unquenchable Fury star Rock Hardesty, Pecunia Financial Services and Brokerage, well-known retail behemoth Oligopsico, but you know him as Olico. Carbo Curds, brand cheesy wafers, Sucrose Bomb popsicles, pharmacy chain Oedipus RX, the Stitch in Time chain of emergency care strip mall outlets, Stuffers Sports Steakhouse, the Skank Channel, a lot of great programming you've seen in the middle of the night probably on the Skank Channel, and Honorius, the little holiday you've never heard of, but probably would like if you did hear of it. Whew, okay, a lot of sponsors there, and now it is time for our gnome story.
Young Exefia.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the counter here. We're up to 8 minutes and we're out of time for the week. No story. But please take some comfort in knowing you had a wonderful, quintessential podcast experience of hearing many, many fantastic sponsor messages. We'll have a story next week.